Hey, this is Dana Deathray, and this is Launch. The first misconception that people have about us is that we're a speed metal band, and we're coming out, you know, and just because the name Deathray just, I mean, has that sort of dark connotation, but it was deliberate. Prior to Deathray, I'd been in a band called Little Guilt Shrine, and we were just sort of a hodgepodge of alternate rock styles. We put out about 5 independent CDs on our own in Sacramento, and went on tour with Cake. That's how I met Greg and Victor. And we, after I left LGS, and just immediately after they had left Cake, we kind of hooked up and traded demo tapes and just started talking about music and influences and things that we loved. And pretty soon, you know, we were in Deathray. If I had to pick one song that I wished that I had written, I couldn't, but I could name a few artists that I really, really admire. Obviously, Ray Davies and the Kinks and Dave Davies and David Bowie. Man, anything from like Cracked Actor from Aladdin Sane. If I'd die happy if I'd written that song. Big Star. You know, does Bryan Adams count? I don't know. No, anything by the Police. The Police are amazing, a huge influence on me. So yeah. If there was any indication of what we were going to sound like on next album out, I guess I'd have to say it was probably Legionnaires in Doubt. If for no other reason than the fact that we wrote that song while we were in the studio. Greg and I wrote that tune, and kind of has this slow, spooky, underwater feel to it, and that's probably closest to what we're heading in. But I don't know. I mean, we're still exploring our songwriting right now. You know, getting into more elements of 60s pop, listening to the Zombies a lot, and just yeah. Keep on trucking. From my limited perspective, my perception of the music industry is that a good song will always win people over, and I mean, I think that the tools of songwriting are changing right now, and that people's perspectives are changing with that. But hopefully, I mean, a good song is sort of the end all and be all, and at the end of the day, I mean, that's really what you'll want to pop into whatever media player you have and listen to, you know, whether it's MP3 or you know, old school vinyl or whatever. You just it's all about the song. At least that's what I'd like to believe. I'd like to tell myself that and hope for the best.
The name Deathray, he sort of came up with it because we're all a bunch of science fiction movie junkies, and so it was just sort of an obvious choice. We just thought it had a kind of a cool sound to it, you know. So that's where that came from. When I was in Cake, we played for several years before we got signed, but Deathray got signed pretty much immediately as soon as we started, and it was because the label that I was already on had interest in the band from the inception, and you know, so there was some sort of backwards development for the band. We were signed, but we weren't very good live, so we had to, you know, we had people coming around to see us and stuff, and we had to, you know, disappoint some people right off the bat. Usually, if people ask me what Deathray plays, I say we play rock music. Sometimes what they want to know is who we're influenced by, and you know, I usually say we're influenced by bands from the '60s, pop bands like the Kinks and you know, the Zombies. The album's kind of schizophrenic. I think my favorite tunes on the record and the direction I'd like to go, you know, in the future, if we can take something from it, is the tune "What Would You Do" and the tune "Zero," my two favorites. There's been many eras in music that I think have just sort of blown me away, and bands, especially like, for example, you mentioned the Who, and I really like that band a lot. You know, in their very early days. You know, and I have a short attention span for you know, tunes and stuff, so it's like windy solos and stuff like that just kind of wear on me. So, you know, I like their first few records, and their tunes were short and really intense, and then they just ended, you know, and that's something that we're sort of trying to do as well.